Franzo calls himself a warrior. Rick has survived 2 bouts with a brain tumor, and in true Olympic fashion, he is not letting that keep him down on the ground. And in true warrior fashion, he is with us here again today. This will be the 3rd beer event that he has been speaking at with us, and we are so happy to have him here. Rick is a 2-time brain tumor survivor. He's a husband, he's a father, he's a son, he's an uncle, he's a co-worker, he's a good friend, and he's just an incredible man. He's also the author of a new book called How Horseshoes Saved My Life, which we're going to tell you about. It's on sale today. But without further ado, I present to you Rick Franzo.
Thank you very much. 5th year, big hand for Beth Moses and Melon's gift. And this awesome venue, Shawnee Golf Club and Resort, a big hand for Darren and everybody involved. They really went out for this. This is excellent. Thank you so much. I'm honored to speak to you today. Like Beth said, I'm a 2-time brain tumor survivor. My cancer was not cancer. My tumor was benign, but it didn't make it any less invasive. I never thought this could happen to me, but the reality is that over 688,000 people live in the United States with a diagnosis of a primary brain tumor, and I happen to be one of them. Also, my tumor is one of 120 different types, and they don't discriminate. They don't care who you are, what kind of shape you're in, what your socioeconomic status is. They just don't care, so everybody is a potential candidate. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what happened to me. 4 years ago in 2009, I was playing horseshoes at a barbecue, and I lost all strength and coordination on the right side of my body. I was trying to throw the horseshoe, and what happened was I wasn't even reaching halfway to the pin. So where I was trying to throw straight, it was going to the left, and I wasn't getting any distance. Well, that scared me enough to actually go see a doctor who sent me to a neurologist who did some physical tests, and they showed that, yeah, I had some weakness on the right side of my body. I figured maybe I'm just getting old, I didn't know. So they sent me for an MRI, and I finished my MRI and went home, and the next day they called me at work, and they said, Mr. Franzo, we're sorry to tell you this, but you have a huge brain tumor. We have a neurologist, a neurosurgeon actually, from a large hospital in Lehigh Valley. You have a 1 o'clock appointment, be there. And my world just shattered. I didn't know if I'd even make it home in one piece because I just was in shock. I thought about my daughter who was 10 or 11 at the time, and I didn't know if I was even going to be alive to, hit Christmas that year, much less just watch her grow up. But I went to my appointment. They told me that what I was diagnosed with was a very large meningioma. It's a tumor that grows on the outside of the brain, on the meninges, which covers the brain. I was going to need brain surgery. 3 weeks later, I had an embolization, which meant that they cut off the blood supply, which this tumor was growing for at least 10 or 15 years in me. They cut the blood supply off in an excruciating awake procedure. The next day, I had surgery, 10 and a half hours. I obviously survived, but yet I came out and I was paralyzed from the waist down. So my benign, non-cancerous brain tumor actually crippled me. Took a part of my skull, so over a third of my skull was titanium, and it didn't do anything for my looks. As you can see, I'm still very pretty, but other than that, I couldn't walk. So I went through months and months of rehab. Finally, I decided, my body decided that it was going to hook things up, and I could walk again. And so that was probably the greatest thing that I ever had to do in my life, the biggest challenge. But I do walk again. I work. Thank you. I work. I advocate. Thank you. So that's kind of what happened to me. 2 years later, I went for a routine MRI, and I was diagnosed with another brain tumor. So right now, I live with a brain tumor. I'm on a watch and wait right now. But the important thing is that I'm alive. There is hope, and things like this, these events, Beth and Melon's gift, thank God for them. Megan and Johns Hopkins, very grateful for them and the support. And we raise the funds because brain tumors are very, very underfunded, and that's why we're all here today. So I'd like to give a big hand again for Melon's gift and for Johns Hopkins and Megan and everybody. Thank you very much. This is a great event. I'm glad to see so many people here. We're expecting over 500 people, so this is amazing. You know, I want you to all have a good time, and I thank you again for coming out. Thank you.
Rick Franzo, our warrior. Now, Rick's book was just published, How Horseshoes Saved My Life. And Rick is selling this book for a mere $5 and is generous enough to be giving 40% of his profit back to the Johns Hopkins Stanley Kimmel Cancer Center for our Brain Tumor Research Fund today. And he'll be more than happy to autograph the book for you as well. We'd like to call a door prize before we get back to the music. And I'd like to call Dan.